I'm sensing a theme, and one of the things Mason said last night was success comes through service. And he's serving our organizations by giving of himself this weekend, and we want to thank him for that.
Mason Weaver is a social critic, motivational speaker, a commentator, and an author. He's an incredible self-help teacher, as we all experienced last night. He gave a fantastic talk last night, yes? Woo. Yes, are you guys ready for round two? I'll tell you something I very much respect about Mason Weaver is he's a man that's not afraid to speak the truth. He's a friend of all of us that love freedom. Let's make him feel welcome from St. Louis, Missouri, Mason Weaver.
Appreciate it. Thank you all very much. I am so excited. My wife and I want to thank you for all the hospitality and the great wishes and the prayers and the attention. I love this group. I love this group. I mean, the energy, the love, the attention. And I also feel honored and privileged to be asked to come here before you and give you my thoughts and my vision and what we've done in our life. And I appreciate that. A few months ago, a few weeks ago, I woke up in the middle of the night with a bug. A bug. I came downstairs on my computer at 1:30 in the morning with the idea of writing another book. My third book this year. That's insane. This is October, my third book this year, and I was compelled to write this book. My vice president's back there, Lisa Astor. I'm up all night, 24 hours. I did not sleep to get this book out, to get this book completed, to get this book published, to get everything needed to get the book out on poverty. And I finished the book at a certain time, and we put the book together, and we got all this stuff done, and the book was ordered, and the book was shipped, and the book arrived here before it came to my home. The book Poverty is first presented here today. So I want you to, some of you already bought the book. Poverty, it didn't fit my lifestyle. And I see now why I was rushing to get this book out, why I was compelled to get this book out, because I did not know that your leaders were going to call me and ask me to come here and explain to you about my battle with poverty. And it was because I had all this fertilizer spilled on me. The fertilizer. But as I said last night, this is my story, not your story. I don't want you to feel my pain because I do not have pain. The fertilizer in my life made me who I am, and the fertilizer in your life has made you who you are. The things you have conquered, the things you've looked at, the things that defeated you in your life propelled you to be in these seats today. Celebrate what happened to you. August 11th, 1971, I was injured. And I can tell you the reasons why. I can tell you all the follow-up to it and all that. But no matter what happened, I was injured August 11th, 1971. And August of 1975, I began the fruits of that fertilizer. I got a picture I'm going to show you on the wall here. This is a photograph of me as I'm being discharged from the Navy. I'm on crutches. I'm broken. I'm disabled. I'm black. I'm a high school dropout. I had no career, no skills, nothing. And everyone has said to me what I could not do. 5 years later, actually 4 years later, I'm addressing the political science department's graduating class at UC Berkeley. I had 4 degrees in 2.5 years. From that picture, that's dream building. Now you can see the anger on my face. I was an angry young man. I was upset because someone had dumped a truckload of fertilizer on me, had taken away my health, had taken away my ability to be a strong young man, had taken away my skill level. I was angry, and I was going to hurt this guy, and thank God Almighty I never saw him again, because I would have not had the use of all that fertilizer. That picture at Berkeley, I'm addressing the class, still angry. I'm a Black Panther member of the Black Student Union, and I'm speaking to the graduating class in Swahili. Nobody there in that room, 800 students graduating, not a single person knew Swahili. but I had a part to make. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I didn't get the whole speech of Swahili, but I did say hello and goodbye and other things to him. Thank you very much. That's the dream and the end. My dream was to go to law school. My dream was to get myself prepared to earn a living with my brain. I no longer had it back. I no longer had my strength. I no longer had all the things that I depended on. The athletic ability, the strength, the muscle power, my back. I no longer had that. So I had two choices: lay on my back or use my brain. There's always a choice. There's always a choice. Change your lifestyle to change your life. Thank you very much for that picture. I don't want you to spend too much time looking at that picture, because it reminds me of the angry days of my life, and I try not to, to worry about that too much. The chapter 1 of my book, Poverty, to change your lifestyle, you got to change your life. I could not have gone to Berkeley hanging out with the friends that I hung out with before I went to Berkeley. I could not have gone into business. I had to change my life. You know, when you grow up and you want to become a doctor and your best friend wants to become a rock star, you cannot hang with each other anymore, because you have to go out to school and learn biology. He has to go out to the clubs to find a manager. And it's going to be a difficult time for you and him, your best friend, to hang out together. You have to be willing to see you at the weddings, see you at the reunions. I got to go do this, and high-five each other and praise each other as you leave. When you try to build this business, there are people in your life that you cannot hang with. They're still nice people. I got some nice siblings. I just can't hang with them. They're not going where I'm going. Change your lifestyle. People call it making dough. Ask me at Berkeley, how are you going to make dough, Mason? I don't know. Get some flour, I don't know. Rich people call it cash flow. Poor people call it making dough. I decided to find out what the cash flow meant. You see, because I'm going to tell you what cash flow means. You don't stop the river. You get in the way of the river. The river will flood over you. Put a rock in the river. It won't stop. It'll flow over. It's called rapids. My job was to find where the river was flowing and go down to the river with a big enough basket called knowledge and information and get the water. That's cash flow. I had to find a way to make cash flow through my life. No one was going to knock at my door and say, Mason, I got some cash flow for you. You have to find a way. You have to find a system. I didn't have a system. When I met my wife, is the world's most beautiful woman. When I met her, I had to proclaim some things about myself to her, and I'm going to share a little bit later on about her reaction to that. But I promised her something before we got married. When I finally convinced her to marry me, it took a while. Like I said, I'm a salesman. I promised a change in our lifestyle. We were doing okay, but I had to have something bigger than me to sacrifice my life for. I wasn't worth it. She was worth it. So I had to find something. My pride came into coming home to my wife and said, we did this today. We did that today. And when you put that on yourself, when you proclaim to your spouse or your children, I had a gentleman who wanted to write a book. And he kept saying, man, one day, Mister, I'm going to get my book out. For 10 years, he kept telling me, one day I'm going to get my book out. It's about childhood and how to raise kids and love of your children. I said, well, how old are your children now? They're getting older. He said, well, I'm going to get the book out one day. I said, tell you what, go home today and tell your son that book will be out in September. Tell your son, tell your daughter, I'm going to have that book dedicated to you. It'll be done in September, 3 months. I challenge you to go home and tell your spouse that. He did that. He went home and said, this book will be out in September. By the end of September, it'll be out. It came out September the 1st because it was more important It was more important to him not to disappoint the people he loved. So he put that dream right out there in front of them. I'm your father. I keep my promises. I'm your husband. I keep my commitment. You have to put that commitment to your spouse tonight. Tell them, we're going to go do this. We're going to do the next pen level. We're going to put ourselves together. We're going to make this thing work. And you tell your upline, I commit to you. I'm going to do this. Anybody know George Ruth Halsey? I'm sitting down with George Halsey at dinner one night. And I'm saying, man, what gave you the nerves to go diamond? What gave you the confidence to go diamond? You fool around the business long enough. He said that the commitment to Ruth, I was tired of not doing it, and my upline said I couldn't do it. My upline said black folks have never done it before in front of his wife. You can't do it. In front of his wife. He had two choices at that moment. Get mad. He was a cop. He was a cop. He could be aggressive if he had to be. He had two choices. This man is sitting at my kitchen table telling me I can't do what he's doing. I'm not man enough to do what he's doing. I'm not capable of doing what he is doing in front of my wife. And I told my upline in a year. And he turned to his wife, we're going diamond in a year. That year, he went diamond. The secret, you got to have somebody in your life that you do not want to disappoint, and you make them a promise about success. You make them a promise about what you're going to do, and then they will follow you. In business, the reason you want to change, the reason you're all looking for a business opportunity, the reason you're looking and seeking a business opportunity and not a social opportunity, and no one's looking for a social gathering, you realize that this country, this nation, the laws of our nation is built for business. It is not built for workers. The tax system is built for business. The retirement system is built for business. If you're not in business, it's going to be built on you. And you decided to get into the game of winners. So we needed a system. You know, my wife and I moved our grandkids out into the woods. That's our system. We have a system out there in the woods that means we're living with bugs. You got that? We have bugs. It is hard to live in an area with bugs if you do not like bugs. I have two beautiful granddaughters who live with us in the woods with bugs. Our system is in a place where bugs are. They are teenage girls now. They think the most important thing in life is their beauty, their makeup, their lip gloss, because lipstick is illegal, so it's not lipstick, Grandpa, it's a lip gloss. Yep, we don't buy that, but it's okay, it's lip gloss. And so they get up in the morning, and they shampoo their hair with lavender shampoo, and they put the lotion on, Rose lotion, and they put all the things they put on their body smells like flowers, and they go out into the woods they don't understand why all the bugs follow them like that, like a smorgasbord. They have all this makeup on, and I'm saying, baby girl, sweetheart, only the squirrel is going to be able to see you. There is not a guy within 50 miles. What are you doing? But they got to look pretty because they're competing with this image on TV about beauty and girls, and they got to put all this. And then, by the way, they put all these long little fake nails, which means they can't do any work around the house anymore. They're basically useless. So all we can do is, they can't touch anything. I mess up my nail. So now I have two useless granddaughters that can't do anything. And see, we have a system. We have a system in our home. It's a system of service. All summer long, we cut down trees or find what's been blown over. And we cut them down, and we cut them up in logs. Well, I say we, but they watch me. And I cut them up in logs. Oh, bugs. Oh, snakes. Oh, And we bring the truck down, we load these logs up on the truck, and we bring them to the house, and we put them with a splitter, and we split them up, and it's hot, and it's sweaty work, and full of insects, and they're complaining all summer long because they're pretty, and they're cute, and and they don't want to wear hats and scarves, and I got you, they're cute. And we spend all fall stacking the woods and drying the wood out. And then when wintertime comes, I call the pastor of my church. I said, Pastor, can you nominate a family or a senior citizen who heats their home all year with just wood? And we're going to take care of that for them this year. And the pastor will identify a family, and we'll go to the family member and say, hey, my name is Mason, and these are my granddaughters, and we're going to keep wood in your wood pile all year long. You don't have to call us. We're going to bring a truckload over. We're going to stack the wood for you. I don't have to say hello to you. I don't have to say, I'm not going to be bothering you. I'm going to come up there. I'm going to drive by your house and see if you're low. We're going to come by with a pack of wood. We're going to stack it up for you. And so my granddaughter's got to stack the wood up into the truck. Oh, man. Then we got to go to the people's house, and we got to unload all this wood. And my granddaughters are saying, Grandpa, you can buy this wood, down the street. They're really good at spending my money. They're very good at that. You can buy the wood down the street and let them take care of it for you. I said, yeah, but there's something you guys are missing. They got it the first time we delivered wood. They got it in the looks of the faces, the people that we are saying to them, you will not be cold this winter. We're going to bring the wood to you. I'm not going to charge you a dime. You can't give me no cup of coffee. You can't pat me on the back. And when they did that, the first time they said, this feels good. This feels good. You have to serve other people, folks. You can't serve yourself. So when I met my wife, the world's most beautiful woman, y'all figure out, we had a vote one night, really. 3 o'clock in the morning. It was unanimous. 3 o'clock. When I first met my wife, she was on the bus stop, and I'm coming down the hill to see this, to catch my bus to my new job. And I saw this creature, unlike any creature I've seen in my life. And she was standing on the bus stop trying to not to be noticed. Big old long overcoat on, it was wintertime. And I'm trying to speak to her because when I saw her, I said, there is the world's most beautiful woman. Talking about dream building? Talking about dream building. I got to talk. I will not spend the rest of my life not hearing the sound of your voice. I'm going to say something to you. You're going to talk to me. We're going to find what's your name, what they call you, something. And she ignored me because I was a clown. Okay, I got you. She didn't say anything to me. After 2.5 weeks, I finally got a word out of her. One word, you a fool. I'll be the fool. And then she left. She disappeared. Didn't tell me anything. I knew her first name, Brenda, and she disappeared. I went looking for her. Why would I not? This is the world's most beautiful woman. So why would I not seek her out and look after? Folks, it's not stalking if you ain't following. I wasn't really I hadn't found her yet. I wasn't really stalking her. I was just trying to find out was she okay. Okay, so I had the other girls on the bus stop looking for her. They thought it was so romantic because she had nothing to do with me. She did not even want nothing to do with me. And so I found her, and I called her on the phone. And my first words to her were, you thought you got away, didn't you? Now, that's stalking, okay? That's stalking. I got you. Okay. It had been, from the last time I saw her to that phone call, it had been 2.5 years. I found her at 2.5 years. Now, later on in our marriage, she told me I got a heart then. She didn't tell me that then, but I got a heart then. She said, how'd you find me? I said, I will tell you at dinner. We're going to go to dinner. She said, okay. So we go to dinner. Now, before, on that bus stop, I had given my future wife my plan. I had gone through 5 years from my injury to graduate from Berkeley, and I had a plan. I knew I could not work 30 years, so why have a plan to get a job for 30 years? Why have a plan for a good retirement plan? I knew I could not work. So I told this little girl in the corner on the bus stop, in 5 years, I'm going to have income coming with no job. I don't know how, but in 5 years, I'm going to have a brand new home, 4 bedrooms. In 5 years, I am going to quit my job and never work again. And she just, yeah, okay, now, what's up? What's the day? When I saw her 2.5 years later, we go to dinner, and I have the world's most beautiful woman in front of me now. Been a long time since I've seen her. She put both elbows on the table, put her palms in her chin, and leaned forward. The first thing she said to me, it wasn't how you been, how you doing, what you doing. The first thing was, what's your plan? Where's the plan? How far along are you with the plan you got? Were you just lying to me, just trying to give me a game? You said that you're going to be somewhere in 5 years, halfway through the plan. Now, where are you going to be? Where are you now with your plan? I was kind of shocked. Where I'm playing? I said, what's your plan? Where's your plan at? What you doing? She said, I have a plan. My plan is not to fall for another guy lying to me. What's my plan? My daddy told me. Her daddy is my daddy now. That's a cool old dude, man. My daddy told me to listen to what a guy says and judge it by what he does. Now, you said you're going to be doing these things. You're halfway through your plan now. Where are you with your plan? I said, well, that new home, that new 4-bedroom house I was going to live in, I now live in. If you play your cards right, you may see it. I'm going to retire at 31, not 30. Things get a little slower. But I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I can find a girlfriend. I'm looking for somebody I can spend a 30-year mortgage with. So what's your plan? You have to be honest with the people that you know you want in your life. You got to be able to put that out in front of you. What is your plan in 5 years? Where are you going to be in 5 years? If you don't have a plan, you will not recognize your success when you see it. You will not recognize it. So, the chapter 3, economic freedom. That's real freedom, folks. My goal became very simple. I could not work, so I could not have income from a job. So my goal was to have no job, just income. My focus was on trying to get checks to come to my mailbox before internet, to come to my mailbox. How can I get people to send me money to my home? And that was my focus. So I hung around people who had the same idea, the same goals. My wife and I had 11 businesses. All of them failed. But the 12th one is still feeding us, okay? But we had to learn, make mistakes. We had a jewelry import-export business. We imported gold and paintings and perfume. We tried to find ways to make deals to somebody else, to take a percentage of it. We tried everything. But the 12th one worked. And failing was irrelevant. Failing did not mean I was a failure. Failing meant I now know another thing not to do. Failing meant that I now have some knowledge on things that does not work. So we had that to go for. Unless you're investing in your future, you do not have a future. You better be feeding into what you're going to be. And it was always be fertilizer in your life. I don't care if you're the first person to go into business, the first person to go to college, the first person to get married, the first person, whatever you're the first person doing, you better be your first person. You better be your first person. Put that in your heart. I challenge you guys, go home today and put on your wall your dream. Matter of fact, put it in front of your TV set. You got to take your dream down to watch these crazy programs on television. I told her father when I went back and visited her that I had a vision of a boat called the Southern Girl, her nickname. I gave her that nickname, my Southern Girl. 11 years before we got the Southern Girl, I told her father, how can I disappoint my father-in-law? See, my wife had a father who showed her how a man loves his wife. She had an example of how a man loves his wife. So how am I going to disappoint this man? I had to do everything that I said to do with her. So we did that. I have a system. Folks, you cannot save enough to retire. You simply had better have a plan for your retirement income. You cannot save enough. If a person had a salary of $40,000 a year, it would take 25 years to earn $1 million. It would take 25,000 years to earn $1 billion. It would take 25 million years to earn $1 trillion. You cannot save working for your retirement. If you live to be 80 years of age and to have $1 million in your bank, you have to have saved $34 each day of your life. $1 billion, you would have to save $34,000 every day of your life. For $1 trillion, you got to save $34 million every day of your life. Who can save that much money? People kept telling me what I couldn't do as a man, I couldn't do as a black man, but I couldn't do as a man from the South. Everything on their life. But I'm telling you right now, I knew I could not save enough money to retire. I had to have money coming in way past retirement time. You got to understand what old age is. I'll be 70 years old in a few months. I am officially an old man now. I can't even argue anymore. Yes, I'm old now. And I'm telling you what I found out. 80% of your health costs is in the last 6 months of your life. You got heart disease, liver transplants. You got all these things that comes up to you real fast. And that your money, 80% of your health care bill in your whole life is the last 6 months of your life. If you're not ready for that, it will drain everything you had planned for. All your wisdom, understanding. You tell me you're going to take care of your grandkids and you got a $70,000 a month doggone medical bill coming up. That's going to be your crushing defeat unless you plan to not let that bother you. Because even if you pay that, when you pass on, the income you set up will still be there for your children. Even when they pay off your debt, it will still be there for your children, your grandchildren. People kept telling me what I couldn't do. They could continue to tell me what I could not do. I'm amazed today they still telling me what I cannot do. Folks, that means if everyone is telling you what you cannot do, I suggest you just around a whole lot of lazy people. Because they can't do it, they want you to think that you can do it. If you can do it, you just proven that they're lazy people. I never believed that my injuries had anything to do with my life. They were irrelevant. The battle is against poverty. Either you win it or you lose it. We're all fighting poverty like the moon running around the earth. The moon is trying its best to fall to earth. The moon is trying to crash into earth. Earth is moving so fast, the moon has to go and catch up with the earth and go around it by the gravity of the earth. It is trying to crash into us. Poverty is trying to crash into your life. If you're not moving forward, continually moving forward, it will crash into your life one day. The attempted murder of my life became enough for me to enjoy my life. You have to have a dream. I had a dream, and I put that dream up in front of my wife and my children. I have a painting here that I've done 1,000 years ago when I was a young man. This painting is my driveway. You'll see it come up in a second. This painting was what I had painted. Now, when you see this painting, folks, I don't want any art critics out here to go. I was just trying to express myself. You don't have to tell me how wrong. No, that's the wrong. That's the paint. That's my no, I didn't paint that. That's what I painted. The painting is my driveway. The photograph is my driveway. Pretty accurate, right? Pretty close. The trees on the painting are lower because the painting was done 23 years before the picture was taken. So that's why there's less trees there. The same curve in the driveway, the same split in the middle of the driveway. That painting was done in San Diego. The home is in Missouri. I didn't see this house until 23 years after the painting. But the painting was on my wall, and I told my wife, that is our retirement home. 23 years later, we saw this house. I've been to Missouri 7 times in 2 years, looked at 200 homes. And me and my wife came down this driveway. We had been up the street to look at the house, trying to make an offer on it. We in prayed over the property. I'm getting ready to say, okay, I've given up. I've seen everything. I'm tired of coming back to Missouri. Let's put an offer on this house. And my wife said, what's down this hill here? And we go down the street, and I saw that driveway. And we called our realtor. You got to come out here. And we pulled into that driveway. It took us 10 minutes to buy this house. Because when it had this painting up so long, we knew you have to have the vision in front of you physically so you know when it's coming. You know when it arrives. You see it. This was my vision before the house was built. It was built by someone else. I've never met him. I don't know what made him put that curve in the driveway. The little red on the painting, you see the little red on the driveway there? I didn't know what that was. I painted it, but for some reason I put a lot of time on that little red spot. There was something special about that little red spot. Right now, you guys know a gentleman named Bill Brett? Yeah, one night I was backstage with Bill Brett, and I said, Bill, I got something to tell you. I need, and Bill stopped me. He said, Mason, you live in a land of no wants. You have no wants. You only have needs. Live in the land of no wants. I said, I like that. I'm going to keep that, Bill. On that red spot right there is a sign on my driveway. Welcome to the land of no wants. Put your picture, put your victory in front so your entire downline can see the victory that you have proclaimed to them before it came to you. That is the system. It always works. You listen to these diamonds on the stage, they keep telling you about their dream, their dream, their dream. That was my dream. Now my wife gets nervous when I dream because she said, what's next? What you mean? What are we going to do next? She gets nervous, but she also has the confidence of what I am doing and why we're sacrificing, what we're working for. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Either we're maintaining or we're gaining, folks. Either you're maintaining where you are right now or you're gaining and gaining and gaining. I'm getting old now. I'm trying to give my home to my kids. Come take this. My property is made for young folks. My property is made for a young man and some children. I'm not going to be spending an hour and a half in the sun cutting grass. I don't care how comfortable your riding board is. I'm through with that. I want to get a condo somewhere near the beach and a motor home. I'm trying to maintain now. My granddaughters are trying to get ahead. They're 14 and 16 years old, and they have their own business now. They're making their own money now because grandpa don't buy anything for grown women no more. You know what I mean? If you're grown, you know, grandpa can I. That's my name now. Grandpa can I? Grandpa can I? Grandpa can I? No, you can't. No, it's really important to understand the language, the system. In my house, the system is you get as much from grandpa with a little effort as possible, and life is good for you. My granddaughter and I came from an event before I flew here. We had an event Thursday night before I came here. And my granddaughter afterwards, she was saying, Grandpa, that was a great speech. That was a wonderful speech. Everyone admires you and they listen to you. That's great. I said, what do you think about it? She said, I just think that everyone admires you, and I see why, but to me, you're just a good dad. You're a good dad. Now, I know my granddaughter is my granddaughter, so I know a good hustler when I see one. I wasn't fooled by that. I said, what do you mean by a good dad? She said, well, you take care of us, you provide for us, you do things for us, we feel secure around you, we feel safe around you. Yeah. I said, well, if I'm such a good dad, why don't you always obey me? My 16-year-old said, because I'm a 16-year-old teenage girl. That's my job. My job is to get us. My job is not to obey you. My job is try to persuade you. And I'm good at my job, and you're good at your job. And and she said, Grandpa, you know you're going to lose this battle one day. I'm going to grow up. I'm going to start dating. No, you're not. Yes, I'm going to start dating. And you're going to lose this battle. And I said, yes, but I won't lose by surrender. I'm not going to surrender. God gave me grandkids as a wake-up call for me. I only had boys. What creatures? I'm telling you, I love them. Your legacy is your family going forward, not your family going backwards. What happened to you in the past is just a fertilizer to expand you. We got a beautiful plant in our sunroom. It's growing tall and taller straight up. Before we left, I took a pair of scissors and I cut off the tops of those trees. They have flowers on them. They bloom all year long. And my children said, why are you cutting this beautiful plant up? I said, because a prune bush grows best. I cut the tops off to fill in the background, the bottom. It has to be filled in to be strong enough to survive the winter that's coming. So I cut it off. Things that are cut off in your life that was painful to you in your life made you stronger. You have to get enough to get tired of it. So my goal is to get enough to get tired. I had to find out what success was. To find out what success was means I had to identify successful elements and identify unsuccessful elements and try to learn how to avoid the ones that were unsuccessful. I call it the culture of success and the culture of failure. There is a culture of failure. There is a culture that if you get into, you're going to be failing in everything you do. Try selling drugs for a living. A lot of money, but you're going to go to jail. And you're going to find folks around you that will turn you in. The culture of success is real simple. To me, it's real simple. The culture of success says, the culture of failure says, don't forget where you came from. You're not going there. Don't forget where you came from. Well, I came from poverty. I came from injury. I came from slavery. So culture of success is don't forget where you're going. Don't forget where you're going. I got a picture on my wall of where I'm going. Put your dream up, or you put your boat up, put your house up, put your retirement plan up. Where you're going doesn't matter where you came from. I'm not where I came from. I am where I'm going. The culture of failure says, give something back to the community. Well, what do I owe the community? Give me the bill. What do I owe the community? What is the community? Usually it's something that you control or want me to donate to, the community. You never hear them say, give something back to your family, to your spouse, to your children, to your great-grandchildren. They continue to tell you what they want you to do for them. The culture of failure. We need to make better low-income housing. No, I need to make some high-income housing because that's better than low-income housing. I need to teach those folks in low-income housing how to get high-income housing. Is that better? I think that's better for them. So I'm going to have a philosophy that will increase the high-income housing. The culture of failure demands minimum wage. How can you demand minimum wage? Why would you fight for minimum wage? Who wants minimum wage? I want to fight for maximum wage. I think my family deserves maximum wage. I don't understand the concept. We got to demand, we got to go to the government or go to your boss and demand an increase in minimum wage. Are you kidding me? I don't even want to think about minimum wage. You get what you feed, folks. If you're protesting for better treatment in poverty, if you're fighting for better recognition of your level of poverty, if you're going to stay broke. If you're fighting for someone to take care of you in your misery, you're going to stay miserable. Our job is to go and tell them, not to convince them. So when I married the world's most beautiful woman, I then had a reason to conquer the world. Children, grandchildren, legacy, retirement. It was no longer just me. It had to be her. Had to be the kids. Had to be, because see, I'm not gonna get up at 3 o'clock. I don't sleep anymore. I think sleep I think my wife thinks I'm an android. You plug me in the morning, I get charged up and go places. I do, because I'm always busy. My mind's always working. I'm always trying to figure things out. I don't have a system that I can depend on. I don't make money constantly. I make money quarterly. I do not know 3 months from now what income will be. I don't know. I've never known 3 months in advance, but it's been constant for 35 years. Every month, every month, every month. I'm doing things constantly, I'm still trying to find the constant income. If I stop working tomorrow, income will still come in. But I'm constantly trying to figure out what can I do for my sons, my granddaughters, my adopted grandkids, my legacy for my community. I'm still trying to do that. I'm always looking for ways to better me. Better me. And I don't avoid the fertilizer. I sometimes sell the fertilizer. You may get some from me occasionally. But my main goal in life is to create an environment where my children are available to continue the legacy of service. The culture, folks, that I'm trying to present to you, this business is a culture. There is a cultural belief system in your organization. There's a cultural belief system in everything you do, in your product development, in your sales, in your approach, in your language. There is a business language for win. And you can tell there is a look. There is a look. My wife at the airport can point out women in this business because there is a distinct difference in that makeup you guys sell. There is a distinct difference in how you look because of the makeup. She can tell a diamond from across the room. We had an event in California. It was a political event. Had nothing to do with this business. Had nothing to do with the business. And I'm sitting there signing books and enjoying the company of a lot of my old friends. And my wife nudges me and says, an Amway Diamond just walked in. How do you know that? You don't know that. Yeah. Amway Diamond just walked in. And after the meeting, it was a question and answer after I finished speaking. And this guy stood up and asked a question. He made a comment. It was a guy named Jack Dory. How did my wife answer? How did my wife pick Jack Dory out of a crowd of 500 people? The way he walked in. The way he walked in. This man controlled his activity, controlled his language, he was in charge, and my wife picked Jack Dory out before I even met Jack Dory. There's a distinct way, the way you approach life, the way you see life, it's called confidence. These folks you see on stage have confidence. They got fertilizer too. In their life, they got fertilizer. But they have confidence. They know the way to freedom. They know, folks, they know the way to freedom. They have faced every obstacle you are facing right now. They have faced every attack that you are facing right now. They have looked at every doubt that's on your heart and soul right now. They have looked through it, went through it, walked through it, and they know it more than you do. And they are willing to share that with you, the knowledge with you, if you're going to listen to them. It's like following a car on the freeway 3-4 miles ahead of you. You got a CB radio talking to them. They know the bumps, the curves, the obstacles in the way because they got supreme confidence in what they are doing. The confidence comes from overcoming the obstacles you see in your life. They told me that they wanted me to get a job at the shoe factory with the other colored boys. Now, I don't know how old they were. I was 18. I didn't think I was a boy, but they thought I was a boy. So I'm going to show you the pictures that we took a few months ago of that shoe factory that they told me I can go work for. They said, Mason, we can get you a job there. We can get you a job. You're strong, you're healthy. And they put this up in front of me as an obstacle in my city. They were going to get me a job at the shoe factory. Here is a shoe factory today that they wanted me to work at. You got that ready? There's a shoe factory in Missouri. The pictures up a minute ago is what I'm talking about. This is the shoe factory that they have. It is now torn down. It is now full of bricks. It is now covered with rats and sewer and dirt. Everyone that worked there is now unemployed. The company left with the pension, left with their retirement plan, left with the money they owed everyone. They owed the city money. They just used up that little community and spit folks out and are now out of business. And that's what that guidance counselor told me was my alternative to college. We're going to let you work at the shoe factory, Mason. Oh, for my own good, he's going to put in a good word for me. He was going to put in a good word for me. And that was his idea of me. It was not my idea of me. I don't care if it was racism. I don't care if it was jealousy. I don't care if he did not want me to compete with his kids. I didn't care what his motivation was. My motivation was not that motivation. Your motivation is not what people see in you. Your motivation is what you know is in you. What you know is in you. Your motivation had better be your dream. I told you last night, your hero had better be you in 10 years. There is no other person. You cannot take pride in what anyone has done but you. You can't take pride in Dr. Martin Luther King. You can't take pride in your upline. You cannot take pride in anything but what you have decided to do. What you have decided to do. I want to know how many people here have decided to go diamond. Is that a decision that you made to go diamond? If that's a decision, you go home and you put on a calendar, going diamond. You put on a wall, a plaque, going diamond. You put in your heart, you tell your upline, downline, and sideline. You tell your spouse, you tell your children, you tell, hey, I am going diamond. When you leave home in the morning, don't say goodbye, honey. You say, go diamond, honey. You put that in your language. You put that in your language. I'm going to tell you what a very successful man told me in this business. I asked him, how did you grow so big, so fast? What can you tell me? What was the secret? Because you all think the secret, right? He said to him, the secret success, this is a tremendous power in this business. The secret of success, Mason, you can take that picture down now. It's kind of depressing, isn't it? That's depressing. The yard now is cleaned off. They tore it down. He said the secret is not to go to bed. He does not lay his head on his pillow without meeting 2 new qualified prospects a day. Qualified means you can do 100 PV, and I can see you again tomorrow if I have to. I know where you work. I know where you play. I can find you again if I have to. 2 new a day. You ain't got to show the plan to 2 a day. You got to meet 2 new a day. That's 60 a month. And 10 of those will let you see the plan. And 2 of those will get in your business with you. And if you train those 2 to do the same thing, they will get 2 a month. And that's your foundation. That's your foundation. And now your job is to train them how to think and train them how to avoid those little blasts of fertilizer coming at you. Train them how to avoid the stress of what you can't do. People tell you what you can't do. If you train your people up, if you get your army together, you cannot go to Diamond Hood by yourself. You got to go to Diamond Hood with your army, your individual army, your personal private army that's going to have the same goals, the same objectives. That's who you are. Each person here has their own name for their business for a reason. That's what you call independent. You get your army together and you train them right. You get good leadership and good equipment and good planning, and you practice and you march and you practice and you march. And then you go out and you conquer the hill called doubt. If you do that, there is nothing on this planet that's going to stop you, including 2,800 pounds of steel, including being black in America, including being poverty-stricken, including being a dropout, including being unable, including being told you can't read and write. You're a slow learner. Every obstacle in your face will melt in your face if you organize yourself to conquer that hill. It takes effort. It is not hardly easy. It is not nearly easy. Like I said last night, it was very difficult for me to take my broken self up to Cal and register to go to school. I paid my way to school, folks. I had to earn the money every quarter to pay my way to Berkeley. That means I had to buy those books myself. I had to pay tuition, I had to pay for the parking, I had to pay for lunch. Every day I had to pay, had to pay, had to pay. I call it investing. I call it investing. I don't want to hear you talk about how much your tools cost. I want to hear you tell how much it costs to come here. I do not work. This is not a vacation. This is boot camp. You're learning how to objectively fight what's coming ahead of you. What's coming ahead of you is the steamroll to make you go back and submit yourself to making somebody else rich. I'm saying it's about time for you to make yourself wealthy. Your kids depend on that. Your grandkids depend on that. Are you ready to get up and go out here and make this thing work for you? I will come back in a year or two. I expect to find 5 more diamonds here because I've already talked to you out there at my table. I can see it in your eyes. My wife can tell a current diamond. I can tell a future diamond. It is time that we stop depending on other folks' opinion of us. This is a culture. This is a win culture. You belong to the win culture. You better recognize what that is. This, by all means, folks, is a culture of success. God bless you. Stay right or be left. We're going to go to victory.